I told him that. He was like, oh, what, after I read the IEP, I'll have an idea of which. No. There's no savior coming. There's no bid. No, they're not sending nobody to help us. When the kid comes in, you save them. Figure it out. Because they're here. They're here. They need services. Figure it out. There's no behavior specialist coming. There's no wraparound coming. There's no savior. They don't care. And even if they did care, they do not have the manpower to help us. So for sure, we need to help ourselves and we need to help the kids. And that's it.
Talk about that. How did you know she wanted to be an educator? Like, what were some things?
Well, the thing is, she told me, and she would come home every day and play school. Every day, right after 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, she's in the back room with her invisible kids. So, and then all her friends, when the friends get together, maybe everybody, they done went to school all day. They want to play, run around, and hide and go seek, or anything but school. No, we're playing school. Ebony says we're playing school.
She was always that person that didn't want to be a part of nonsense. So she would rather have lunch in the classroom where she could either get some work done or we just chat, or she was with her friends, because she didn't want to deal with any chaos, none of it, even as a young child. She always was focused. She was focused.
So she's a strong black woman. She has Ebony is determined. Ebony is a driver now. Shocking. Now you can say if Papa G was here and he said Ebony was driving, oh boy, he wouldn't believe it.
I don't know if it was always the career, the entrepreneur part was always something that I can honestly say was like a plan of mine. I've always wanted to be an educator. And it's funny because I can remember as far back as 8 years old, and probably even younger, but wanting to be an educator. And we had read something about, at this time, we use encyclopedias, right? So I'm totally dating myself, right? Yeah. Nonetheless, we use encyclopedias, and I read up about Mary McLeod Bethune. And I was so intrigued, and I came home and I told my parents, not that they didn't know, but that I wanted to be not only an educator, but I wanted to be a famous educator. And I can remember one of my boy cousins, he kind of was like, there's no such thing, like an educator can't be famous, right? But I was convinced and that I would be. So I wanted to be an educator in the classroom. I remember like striving really, really hard for that, going to school, obtaining the right degrees and licenses that's needed to do so.
All right, my approach was more, I wanted to make it fun because I felt like if I'm bored, the kids are bored. Right. I wanted them to feel success. That was the main thing. I felt like if a child feels some success, then later on in life, they know what that feels like. They'll keep aiming for it. Because if you never know what it feels like to succeed, or you're always... I used to come up against a wall sometimes in my educational life where sometimes I would feel like I just couldn't get anything. It was just jumbled up and I was stressed out over it. I didn't want kids to feel like that because I knew what it felt like.
I did have some really amazing teachers in elementary school. I had Miss Barnes, I had Miss Polk, Miss Melody, and those were my 3 teachers that I can honestly say laid out the blueprint for everything I looked at these educated black women and I was inspired. And so I probably was like always like kind of like a teacher's pet. But I learned so much from just watching them, and they inspired me to see someone that looked like me in a position impacting a community. So it definitely started in elementary school.
Found out that she was pregnant. She was in Cheney. And my feelings, I was upset, a little mad with all them feelings. But I digressed. I thought about it, and I just let her know that, okay, you had this baby. Don't even worry about you. I let her know that having a child would not stop her from her dreams. Mm-hmm. You know, after going through what I would go through, how could you have this baby? You in school, you're doing so great. Mm-hmm. After all that, I came, Mom is here. Mm-hmm. You know, that side, I had to let that side of Mom out. Right. But here I go. I'm right here for you. You know, we can do this, and right. We did. Actually, I opened up my family daycare because I was in school then. I opened up my family daycare because I would have my granddaughter. Mm-hmm. So that's when I opened up my family daycare. I had my granddaughter and like 4 or 5 other kids, which was going pretty well.
Okay. Being young, learning as I go, there's no handbook on being a parent. You kind of look over and take some stuff from your childhood and say, no, I don't want to do that. Okay, we'll do this. Nah, not that, but let's do this, right? So it's no handbook. But you do the best you can. So I think that was a struggle, trying to be a mother, a good mother, involved mother, and balancing my daughter's schedule, which was actually more busier than mine, with all her extracurricular activities that I had her in. So struggling with that, and maintaining a personal life, because I was still 21, so I still 21, 22. I still wanted to have a dating life, a social life, and trying to do that and go to school was a challenge, but it wasn't about nothing for real. Just get it done. That's my motto. Just get it done. Figure it out. If you're in school and you keep going, you gotta finish. There has to be an end to it. You have to finish. Right. The credits add up. You have to finish. So just keep going. Figure it out. Do what you need to do. Okay. No excuses. Take those erasers off them pencils. My dad used to do that to me. He used to take the eraser off my pencil. He said, if it's there, you're going to be okay with making a mistake. So we were renting from a church at the time, and we rented space out of their basement, and it had maybe about 4 classrooms, so it held about 45 to 50 kids. Okay. I just remember working in that building and doing all that work ourselves. We were painting, we were cleaning, we were teachers, we were the directors, we were everything. But I remember most importantly the groundwork that we did in that building to make it to be what we wanted it to be. And when I think of LPLS, I smile.
This is somebody that I spent years with, you know, that I built a friendship with, that we built a bond, a sisterhood. And when it's dispersed, it was painful. Yet I understood what season I was in, what season that God had my business in, what season I was in, and I just understood. I understood my assignment, and sometimes the assignments are up and they're over, and you've done everything you can do, and just God has you to go in another direction. I came up with that name. I was looking for something fresh and new. I knew that my future was bright for sure. I never, while Little People, Little Stars was ending, that chapter was ending, I knew my future was bright. It didn't look bright, but I knew it was bright. So I kind of had a couple names that I threw out there, and I called my mom. You know, I'm going to call my mom. I can tell you that right now. And I asked my mom, oh, Mom, I got this one, and this one. And she was like, bright minds, bright beginnings.
Because what's happening right now is that a lot of our children in our communities are dealing with trauma. And they are 3 to 5 years old. And they're dealing with trauma. They're dealing with seeing their brother or their sibling or someone in their family, in their immediate family, in their community, murdered, oftentimes in front of them. Oftentimes, 3 and 5-year-olds are dealing with things that a 3 and 5-year-old should not even be dealing with or experiencing. And they don't have the equipment at that young age to deal with that trauma. So now what's the problem after that? Because when you're that young and you're 3 to 5, you're going to go to who? Your mom, your guardian, to walk you through that, or to, you know, to do what they need to do to get you over that trauma or through that trauma. Well, we can no longer do that because now the adults are dealing with that. The adults are dealing with that trauma. And they don't know what to do. They don't know how to deal with losing a son, losing a child. And they still got other little babies dependent on them. But they don't have the resources to get through that trauma, to work through that trauma. Because therapy, counseling is needed. They don't have it. It's not accessible to them. So that's the biggest issue, the biggest concern in early childhood, because these families are coming to us. When you're sick, where do you go? You go to the doctor because you trust the doctor to make you well, to make you feel better. And I know people do herbs and all that stuff, but in general, where do you go? You go to the doctor. So when those families are dealing with that trauma now, ECE programs where we were just, making sure that the children was ready for kindergarten, we can't even get past the academics. We can't even get to that because we got to address this trauma. And this is real trauma that's coming into these programs. And now you got to assess the family because you're responsible for the family too. And you got to have a strong program with the right components in it so that they can be successful. But there's not many resources out there for us to have the reach to get the BSCs, the TSS workers, the therapists into our programs. And then the programs that are coming into our programs have no knowledge of trauma that Black and brown children face. They're not even equipped for it. They're not even equipped for it. I always tell them, I say, go outside, walk outside real quick for me, please. I say, no, when you get out there, right, look up at the address so you can know where you at. This is not Mary Poppins land. You're in an urban community dealing with kids with trauma. Now, you said this is what you do. You said you went to school for this and you got a passion for it and you really want to do it. So when you walk through my doors, be prepared for that. And be prepared to meet the needs of my families and my children and my staff. But as soon as we realize that we got to figure it out because they're not coming to save us. There's nobody coming to save us. Nobody. I've been doing this a long time.
They denied me twice. The second time they denied me, I cried. I'm not someone that's unable to produce tears. So I did cry. And it was the worst 5 minutes of my life, crying, weeping in my sorrow. And then I got up and said, whoa, hold on. What you doing, girl? You get it together. What you want to do? And I immediately went back to the email and I read it again. And I read the unfortunately again. I read the I'm sorry. I read the you didn't get it. And I read that email probably like 3 times back to back so I could understand that I would never get an email like this again. So this is our last day here. We're completely moved out. I'm just ready to go. Move on. I don't feel any kind of way. Maybe in the crack room today. But really upset that my mural is here. This is a signature mural, and so I just basically painted over it so it can't be used.
So no type of emotion.
No emotion. None. I just want to go.
How did you like the area around here?
I didn't like it. People are low energy.
Like how you are right now?
Say it again?
Like how you are right now?
Yeah, I'm just not. I'm like, ugh, blank. For me, it's like a bittersweet moment. It's like you built something and I came into these doors like so excited and so like, oh, this is going to be this and this is going to be number 3 and we're going to do this and we're going to do that. But to be here at this moment where I'm actually in here moving my stuff out, I get a little choked up. Like I get like, dang. I remember looking at this center and saying, oh, I want this building. And I waited and I waited and I waited and I waited and I'm here. But God just had something else for me. And it's definitely bigger and better. But I put so much into my programs. I put so much into what I do every day that this really hurts really, really bad. Because it don't matter like, oh, it's a smaller site, you have such a bigger site now. It don't matter, they're all my babies. I birthed them all. So to be here where like I gotta close one and it's really not anything that I truly did, it's something that happened suddenly and like without any notice, just oh my God, that happened, we gotta go, because then it creates an unsafe environment for the children, the community, etc., then of course I gotta go. I understand it. But this crap hurts. To bag up my items, to put them in a moving truck, to be here, it hurts really, really bad, and I'm in a lot of pain. So my biggest challenges right now is that we have our annual graduation, our annual prom, a lack of motivated staff, a lack of motivated workforce overall, is really presented itself as a challenge for me. It's very frustrating, like extremely frustrating. Makes me want to just put it in a trash bag, throw it over my shoulder, and find somebody else to do it.
As her husband, I knew she'd make a way. I'll do anything I can to help her. She definitely, when I walked in this building, it was huge. Imagine not having any walls and you could just see straight through. Mm-hmm. Man, I knew from Broad Street to here was going to be a change. A big change. Going from 28 kids to almost 200 kids. Yeah. Ooh, I might have to quit my job. Because, man.
Soar to the top. We don't eat food off the ground. We're not bottom feeders. Eagles soar. So if you got a dream, you got something you want out of life, work for it. And when you get tired, keep working. When they say no, you can't have it, keep working. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Keep working. Keep working. What you stopping for? You tired? Who told you to start it? Always told my children, if you start something, you better finish it, because nobody told you to start it. So finish it. Finish it. That's your goal. That's your plan in life. You got something you want to do, finish it. Don't stop. Because the moment that you stop, somebody gonna steal your dream. Don't think that God doesn't put things in us that is just for us. There's blessings in life that is just for you. No, if you never access that gift, that desire, that hope, whatever it might be, that doesn't mean that it goes to the next person. You just never fulfilled your promise. You never fulfilled it. So keep working. Don't stop. That's what I want to say to these kids. Keep working. Don't stop. And everybody is not a leader, and that's okay. Find your place in life, because everybody was not appointed to lead. Because when you were appointed to lead, then you lead. It's something in you. So what needs to happen in society, we need to stop telling everybody, you're a leader, you're an entrepreneur, you it is. You could do that. You could do that. Why you working for her? You could do that. Guess what? God didn't make everybody a leader. Because if it's all leaders, then everybody's a leader, then there's nobody to follow. There's nobody to follow you. A good leader has a following behind them. So we got a bunch of leaders, and who following who? God didn't make everybody a leader. Everybody wasn't appointed to lead. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. At all. My first position in childcare, I was not a leader. I followed somebody. I didn't try to come in and take over what they started. I followed them. And when God showed me that he wanted me to lead something, I understood why I was following all that time. I understood why I was behind somebody all that time, until God put me in the forefront and said, no, I want you to lead. I want you to lead my people. Follow. Pray about it.
But I know that I work for that. I know that I put the time in for that. I know that I labored for that. I know that I had been faithful. So I know for sure he was going to come through for me. But it's been so many times when it just didn't look that way. and it looked a different way to other people. I watched God take remove so much from me. So many people and places, and I lost people, and God revealed people to me that I thought was in my corner and they wasn't. And I was signing their checks. But it's just been the grace of God. I watch people talk negative about my business. Talk negative about me as a businesswoman. But I remain silent. I remained silent, and I just sat back and God said He prepares a place, a table amongst your enemies. So do you know what it means to prepare a table? Do you know what it takes to prepare a table? He got to put the forks out, right? He got to put the knife out, right? He got to put the spoon out and the napkin and the plates. So that's all He was doing. He was preparing the table. Right while my enemies was sitting right there. It takes time to prepare a table. For sure, He don't prepare it overnight. You can't just throw the stuff on the table. Not a God of excellence that I serve. So He prepared the table. And then they can watch me.
I would say to Ebony, first, so proud of you. Keep doing what you're doing. Stay close to your inner self, stay close to God, and complete your assignment.
Inspiring. I'm so proud of her. She's dedicated. She's focused. She might be a little too focused to you. And determined to do what she feels that she has to do. And she's always been that way, where if there's a goal, she's going to attack it. And that's what she does, and that's what I see. I mean, we haven't been in close contact, but I've watched where she came from to where she is now, and it's amazing. It's amazing.
Just keep doing what you're doing. You reach a lot of souls. You bless a lot of kids. You bless a lot of parents. Keep doing what you're doing. I love you.
You have to eat the dream. You have to sleep the dream. You have to dream the dream. You got to touch. You have to see it when nobody else sees it. You have to feel it when it's not tangible. You have to believe it when you cannot see it. You got to be possessed with the dream. The dream.